Lionel Starkweather, also known as the director, is a major character and the main antagonist of Rockstar Games' Manhunt.
Now only you can hear me, and that's the way you're gonna want it, because I'm your only way out of here.
The twisted mastermind behind the whole scenario, the director communicates to James Earl Cash through an earpiece until Cash kills the White Rabbit. He tells Cash where to go, and sometimes gives instructions on performing certain special tasks.
There's a nail gun in that trailer, if you can stand the smell.
Starkweather's personality is ultimately that of a perverted and immature psychopath who is utterly devoid of any form of moral compass, empathy, or remorse. He is very impatient and shows absolutely no regards towards anyone's death. He gets very excited after Cash kills a hunter, and becomes annoyed to the point of throwing childish tantrums if Cash waits around too long.
Move, you hairy ass!
He is also shown to be manipulative and dishonest, as Starkweather promised to release Cash if he participated in his snuff films. However, in reality, he was planning to have Cash murdered by the Smileys. Another example is after Cash rescues his family members, Starkweather heartlessly orders the Innocents to execute one of his relatives.
You must understand, Cash. I could never let them go. Where were your family when you were facing your final moments in the chamber anyway? You've left your old life, your old self behind. I'm all the family you need now.
Starkweather is not only motivated by his sadistic and hedonistic impulses, but his own psychotic beliefs as well. Although he's producing snuff films for the black market, Starkweather still views himself as a great director and artist. Many of his quotes praising Cash's executions revolve around a delusional belief that he will make him a star, and bragging that Cash will turn the slash world on its head. Despite all the countless indirect murders he's committed, Starkweather ultimately proves himself to be a coward. He relies on Ramirez or the Cerberus into doing his dirty work for him, while hiding in a secure mansion. When Starkweather is confronted by Cash at the end of Manhunt, he attempts to kill him with a revolver. However, Starkweather resorts to running away, and futilely attempts to negotiate with Cash into sparing his life after he runs out of ammo.
Cash, I made you!
Although the director seems to hold all the hunters he employs in low regard and regularly insults them, he seems to reserve particular disdain for the Skins. He appears to be disgusted with their overt racism, referring to them as dumbass supremacists, stating they are always blaming others for their inadequacies.
These Skins are boring me, dumbass supremacist bastards, always blaming others for their inadequacies. Butcher them, Cash. Cut them up, beat them down, and choke the fucking life out of them.
Lionel Starkweather was once a successful Vinewood film director until his movie started to flop badly and his career was finished. Later, he moved to Carcer City and developed an obsession towards morbid acts of violence. Soon, Starkweather began producing underground pornography and snuff films, which he sold to certain Japanese businessmen. His newfound success made Starkweather very rich, allowing him to open an illegal company named Valiant Video Enterprises. Eventually, Starkweather began working with various criminals and hired local psychopaths, including Ramirez, to serve him. Starkweather also employed a group of mercenaries known as the Cerberus to serve as his personal bodyguards. At some point, Starkweather exacted his revenge on those who ruined his career by filming their murders in a video collection he entitled Director's Cut. Starkweather began paying off the CCPD police chief Gary Schaefer, allowing him absolute control over Carcer City and all the gangs participating in his snuff films. At one point, he purchased a mansion, which was designed by the Las Venturas Planning Department and built in Wapona Hills. With all this power, Starkweather remained isolated in his mansion, watching everything through security cameras and paying people to do all his dirty work.
Hey, tough guy, wake up. You're not dead. Well, not yet, anyway.
At some point, a journalist discovered Starkweather's snuff film ring and began gathering evidence against him. Meanwhile, Starkweather found out about James Earl Cash and decided to direct a movie starring him. In doing so, he bribes the police and prison officials into releasing Cash from death row.
You're getting a second chance. Another throw of the dice. As far as the world is concerned, you died back in the chamber. Justice was served. James Earl Cash is rotting in hell. Hey, get a grip and calm down. You're probably suffering from shock, and I'm here to help. Pick up the ears. Put it on. Go on. That's better. Now only you can hear me. And that's the way you're gonna want it, because I'm your only way out of here.
Cash is given an earpiece so Starkweather can talk to him and instructs him to perform various tasks, while Starkweather watches and films it through security cameras. He also has many sections of the city blocked off by electric fences, which he can open once Cash has completed the task. He has the Cerberus transport Cash to each location, while Ramirez organizes the hunters.
Now fucking move!
Hold up, Cash. You and your family weren't exactly close, am I right? It's just that I thought it would be nice to have a surprise reunion. But these war dogs didn't see it my way, and they've taken matters into their own hands. They're using them as bait, Cash. Bait! I know! I can hardly believe it myself. Each time they spot you, these war dogs are going to execute one of your beloved family.
He soon has Cash's family kidnapped for him to rescue. Regardless of doing so, Starkweather still has at least one of Cash's family members killed anyway, and shows the footage to Cash, enraging him.
Where were your family when you were facing your final moments in the chamber anyway?
Nearing the end of the film, Cash is set to die, but he manages to fight back and escapes. Starkweather even orders Ramirez to stop Cash, but Ramirez himself is ultimately killed. He then, as the corrupt police chief Gary Schaefer, send police forces after Cash and the journalist. Cash soon breaks into Starkweather's estate and kills the Cerberus guarding the compound. After an intense fight with Pigsy, Cash grabs Pigsy's chainsaw and enters Starkweather's office as he attempts to defend himself with a revolver, but fails. Starkweather pleads for his life and tells Cash, "I made you." Cash finally brutally murders him with the chainsaw, disemboweling him before sinking it into his head.
Cash, I made you!
That is everything we know about the director Lionel Starkweather in Rockstar Games' Manhunt. If you want more Manhunt lore, remember to like and subscribe, and join the Discord server to have fun with the community. Thank you for watching.
Acclaimed movie maker Lionel Starkweather has been found dead today, along with several of his bodyguards, at his estate at the Wapona Hills residential district. In what investigators are calling a bloody vendetta, an unknown assailant infiltrated the compound, killing Starkweather, but more interestingly, leading police to the site of a snuff film ring being run from the estate's confines. Linked to this ring is Carcer City's own police chief, Gary Schaefer, whose lawyer stated that he intends to plead not guilty.